My name is Rebecca, and I'm a nurse at Community General Hospital. 3 weeks ago, my 10-year-old son, Tommy, drowned in our neighbor's pool during a birthday party. He was underwater for 7 minutes before they pulled him out. The paramedics got his heart beating again, but what happened during those 7 minutes changed our family forever. I need to share what my son told me because Jesus showed him something that every parent needs to hear. My name is Tommy, and I'm 10 years old. I go to Riverside Elementary, and I'm in 5th grade. 3 weeks ago, I was at my friend Jake's birthday party, and I can't swim very good yet. I was in the shallow end, but then I slipped and went under, and I couldn't get back up. Everything went dark, and then suddenly I wasn't in the pool anymore. I was standing in this really bright place, but the light didn't hurt my eyes like when you look at the sun. It was the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. Everything was so clear, and I could see better than I ever could before. That's when I saw Jesus walking toward me. He looked different from the pictures in my Sunday school classroom. He was glowing, and when I looked at him, I just knew he was the most important person in the whole universe. I fell down on my knees because that's all I could do. When he said my name, it felt like coming home even though I'd never been there before. Jesus asked me a question that I didn't understand at first. He asked me if I knew how many kids died while I was drowning. I thought maybe 5 or 10 kids somewhere in the world. He told me that 847 kids died in those 7 minutes and only 71 of them knew him as their savior. I started crying because that meant 776 kids went to hell and they were just kids like me. Then Jesus showed me something that I can't stop thinking about. He showed me this huge river of people and everyone who ever lived was in it. The river was splitting into 2 parts. Most of the people were going toward this really dark place and only a few were going toward the light. The dark place wasn't like a scary movie. It was worse because it was just nothing. No light, no happiness, no love, nothing good at all. Forever and ever. What made me really sad was that a lot of the people going to the dark place looked like people from my church. They weren't bad people. They seemed nice and normal. But they were still going to the wrong place. I asked Jesus why, and he told me something really important. The Lord revealed to me that many people think they're saved, but they're not really saved. He showed me that lots of people go to church and sing songs and pray, but their hearts never really changed. They said some words and got baptized, but nothing actually different happened inside them. Jesus explained that feeling saved and being saved are 2 different things. He showed me people in church with their hands up singing and crying, and they really believed they were going to heaven. But Jesus said their hearts were still the same as before. He showed me people getting baptized and coming out of the water feeling clean, but he told me that the water can't clean your heart. Only he can do that. I saw kids and grown-ups walking down the aisle at church and saying a prayer, and everyone clapping for them, but Jesus showed me that saying words isn't the same as being born again. Jesus explained to me that the biggest sin sending people to hell is when they think they're good enough for heaven, because they go to church, or because they're nice people. He said people learn to feel saved without being saved. They think they know him, but they don't really know him. Then he showed me something that made me really scared. I watched people I knew from church walking up to heaven, and they were so happy and sure they were going in. They had done everything the church told them to do. They went to every service and helped with everything and gave money and were baptized. But when they got there, Jesus told them he never knew them. They had to go away. The look on their faces was the saddest thing I've ever seen. They really believed they were saved, but they weren't. I was shown that this happens to millions of people. They do all the church stuff and read their Bibles and pray before dinner and think they're definitely going to heaven. But they never really let Jesus change their heart. They just tried to be better people, but they never became new people. Jesus told me that the church has stopped teaching the real gospel. He said they make people feel comfortable instead of showing them they need to be completely changed. He showed me that being saved isn't about feeling good or making a decision one time. It's about becoming a totally different person from the inside. It's like if a caterpillar becomes a butterfly. You can't just paint stripes on a caterpillar and call it a butterfly. It has to actually change into something new. The real Christians I saw were different. They really loved Jesus, and it showed in everything they did. They weren't just trying to be good. They were actually changed. They were like lights in the darkness, and even though there weren't very many of them, you could tell they were real. Jesus showed me kids my age who went to church every week and learned all the Bible stories and said their prayers, but they never really gave their hearts to him. They just did what their parents told them to do. He showed me that lots of kids think they're saved because they prayed a prayer when they were little, but nothing ever really changed. I realized that I was one of those kids. I had said the prayer when I was 6 at Vacation Bible School. Everyone told me I was saved and I believed them. But looking at my life, I hadn't really changed. I still loved video games more than Jesus. I still got mad at my sister and lied to my mom sometimes, and I didn't really care about the Bible. I just went to church because my family went. Right there with Jesus, I really got saved for the first time. I told him I was sorry for my sins, and I meant it. Not just sorry I got caught or sorry I might go to hell, but really sorry that I had lived for myself instead of for him. I asked him to change my heart and make me new, and he did. I felt something happen inside me that never happened before. It was real. Jesus told me I had to go back and tell people what I saw. He said to tell everyone that millions of people are dying every single day thinking they're saved, but they're not. He said the church has made the door to heaven seem really wide and easy, but it's actually narrow and not many people find it. He explained that salvation isn't about feeling forgiven. It's about being made completely new. It's not about being a good person. It's about letting God give you a new heart that loves different things than before. He said to tell people that going to church and being baptized and saying prayers can't save you if your heart never changes. Then I woke up in the hospital. My mom was crying and holding my hand. The doctor said I shouldn't be alive and that my brain should be damaged, but I was completely fine. I knew God brought me back to tell people the truth. The first thing I did was tell my mom and dad everything. We talked for a long time about whether they were really saved or just thought they were saved. My dad cried because he realized he had been going to church his whole life, but never really gave his heart to Jesus. My older sister Emma, who's 14, realized the same thing. That day my dad and my sister really got saved for the first time. Then we talked to our pastor. He let me share my story with the whole church. Some people got really upset. They said I was too young to understand and that I was scaring people. But other people listened and started examining their own hearts. Some of them realized they needed to really get saved even though they'd been in church for years. My Sunday school teacher, Mrs. Patterson, asked me how anyone can know if they're really saved. I told her what Jesus showed me. You know you're really saved when your heart is different. When you love Jesus more than anything else. When you hate sin instead of just feeling bad when you get caught. When you want to read the Bible and pray instead of it being a chore. When you care about other people knowing Jesus. If none of that is true, then maybe you just have religion but not a real relationship with Jesus. I'm just a kid, but Jesus showed me something really important. Feeling saved isn't the same as being saved. Lots of people think they're going to heaven, but they're not. The church has made salvation seem too easy. It's not just about saying a prayer or walking an aisle or getting baptized. It's about your whole heart changing and becoming a completely new person. Every day, thousands of people die. And most of them think they're going to heaven, but they're going to hell instead. Not because they were murderers or really bad people, but because they thought being nice and going to church was enough. Jesus showed me that it's not enough. You have to be born again for real, not just feel like you are. I'm telling you this because Jesus told me to. He said time is running out. He said to tell everyone to examine their hearts right now while they still can. Don't just assume you're saved because you prayed a prayer when you were little, or because you go to church. Ask God to show you if you're really saved or if you just think you are. Jesus told me that eternity is forever. That's a really long time. Too long to get it wrong. He said the narrow gate is still narrow, and only a few people find it. Don't be fooled into thinking you found it if you didn't. Check your heart. Make sure you're really born again. Make sure you really know Jesus and he really knows you. I almost died when I was 10 years old, and Jesus let me see the truth. Millions of people are dying every single day thinking they're saved, but they're not. Don't let that be you. Don't let that be your family. Get right with God while there's still time, because once you die, it's too late to change your answer.